Well, it is here. The World Cup begins now. Pardon me for being a bit partisan, but for us and billion-plus Indians, the World Cup well and truly begins today. I know it is day 4 of the ODI format World Cup, but tell you what, India versus Australia, a perfect way to kickstart this big tournament. You are watching Battle of Champions with me, Nikhil Naz, and joining me, it's a privilege to have Mr. Sunny Gavaskar join us live in the studio because it is a big game. We've got the big guns analyzing and letting you know exactly what you can expect from this particular encounter. Saiba, I'm actually feeling the excitement today. I know it's been 4 days, we've been covering the other games, but today morning when I woke up, it felt different. It felt like the World Cup begins. Is it similar sort of sentiments that you have right now?
You could say that because, you know, with the other matches, there was not that sense of anticipation. Yes, you know, there was a there was a World Cup, but this game, clearly, I think because there are two top quality teams, two former champions playing against each other, both of them looking to get the first, step in, getting the first blow in, get the first advantage. So yes, I think very, very exciting time, and well, I can't wait for the coin to go up and to find out who's going to bat first.
Well, I mean, a lot of people talking about potentially it could be, a World Cup final being played this early because these are two teams which many would have thought might just reach the finals.
Yes, I think England still in my book are the favourites, but Australia, for the sheer experience they've got of winning the World Cup so many times, they know how to come back from tough situations. India too in recent times have been playing some extraordinary cricket. So yes, I do believe that these two could be the ones that you will find in the finals in Ahmedabad on 19th November.
All right, there's also some big news coming in from Chennai because that's where the encounter is. And as you can see right now on your screens very, very shortly, the big news is that you've got Shubman Gill, who's definitely going to be missing out on this game because up until now there was speculations whether the opener is going to be fit or not. But now we can pretty much confirm on India today that Shubman Gill is not going to be part of the Indian playing 11. That is because the opener has not traveled with the team to the ground. He's still in the hotel resting. Remember, we knew that he probably had dengue. He was, suffering from some high-grade fever in the last few days. Coach Rahul Dravid had mentioned that yes, he's recovering, but they were not sure whether he's going to participate or not. And then Rohit Sharma, the Indian captain, came yesterday and said that, listen, before we are cricketers, we are humans. I don't want to rush him in. I want him to be fit and fine, and only then we'll look at getting Shubman to play. He has been the star for India this year. If you look at this calendar year, the highest run getter for India in white ball format. So he's going to be a big miss for the Indian team. But what we're telling you right now, about half an hour before the toss is done, before you get to know the Indian team, that Shubman Gill is not going to be part of that 11. A quick reaction from Sunny Gavaskar. Anyway, I know that you've got enough firepower in your bench as well, but yet missing out on Shubman Gill is not an ideal way to go about in your first game.
Definitely not. And when you look at the young man's form, he's been in unbelievable form. The two matches that he played against Australia, he got a 70 at Mohali, got a 100 at Indore. So man in prime form against the same opposition, pretty much the same bowling. Yes, I know that Mitchell Starkton played the first couple of games and Josh Hazelwood perhaps was not at his best in the first couple of games. But clearly, when you lose a man in such, red hot form, that can affect the feeling in the team just a little bit.
All right. Also joining us alongside Sunil Gavaskar, two of our other cricket analysts in Harbhajan Singh, Suresh Raina, both of them members of the 2011 World Cup winning squad. And Harbhajan, let me start with you on this one. We now know that Shubman Gill is not going to be playing this match. According to you, who do you bring into the 11 and where does he bat?
I think if Shubman Gill is not available, then I think straight away Ishan Kishan will come into the team and he will be the opener with Rohit Sharma, and then of course rest remains same. I believe it's very unfortunate that Shubman Gill got dengue and he won't be able to play. If he is not able to play, then I believe that Ishan Kishan is the guy who can come in and score those runs up front. And of course, he's a left-hander. That advantage will always be there. So, in my view, Ishan Kishan will open with Rohit Sharma if Shubman Gill is not fit.
Sanjay, what, according to you, should be the replacement? You'd go with Harbhajan as Ishan Kishan?
Yes, I think looking at what Ishan has done for India in the few opportunities he's got at the top of the order. He would be the one to bat at number 1 or 2 to replace Shubman Gill. He'll also give the left-handed version, left-handed option, and sometimes that can make a difference for the bowlers, particularly in limited overs cricket. Because what is a good ball to a right-hander is a wide down the leg side to a left-hander.
Yes, he will make full use of that. Suresh Raina is also with us. Suresh, for you as well, both our analysts here have picked Ishan Kishan. For you, firstly, does Ishan come in? And if he does, where do you bat him? Top of the order? Because there's another school of thought, maybe have Virat open, get Ishan to bat in the middle order as been doing in the last few games, or no, you get Ishan to open?
I think Ishan Kishan should play. I think he's been batting really well, and Rohit and Ishan, they both batted together in IPL. They both know each other really well, and Ishan also scored a double 100, and his energy brings a lot of joy to the Indian team. We have seen that in past. Hopefully Ishan will play, and he should open with Rohit Sharma.
All right, so it's unanimous amongst all our experts that go in with Ishan Kishan, and the other thing that they all agree on is get him to open, get that left-hand, right-hand combination, which can then trouble the fast bowlers in terms of the line that they have to bowl in this particular game. Let's also take you live now to Chennai. Our correspondent Rahul Rawat now joins us from there. Rahul, up until now, you've been traveling. You went to Ahmedabad too. Really could not see that World Cup fever so far. How is Chennai feeling? I know it's going to be hot, but the temperatures must have risen because it's India versus Australia after all.
Well, it's actually pretty good. The weather, of course, is hot and humid. I've been out since 11 in the morning. In fact, the mood and the buzz that you wanted to see, I think it's right behind me. And as far as temperature, it's hot and humid. The wicket we haven't seen so far, and obviously the reception that the Indian team has got, because this city loves its cricket and it also loves its cricketers, because usually Chennai, you also associate them with the color yellow, and most of the times every year annually you see these stands filled up with people wearing those yellow jerseys. Today they'll be up, the Indian team will be up against a team that actually wears the yellow jersey, but whatever I've seen here, it's, the fans, everybody here. There are so many fans who've traveled all the way from so many parts of the country and they haven't got tickets. Still, they are here. They had queued up right in front of gate number 4, where the team bus was to arrive. They didn't have tickets. They just wanted to see their superstars, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Ravindra Jadeja, and that's how the scene is here, Nikhil.
Okay, tell us a bit about the Indian team as well, Rahul. You've been watching them practice. Yes, there was no Shubman Gill because he was unwell, but what are the areas that they've been working on, and how is the team looking in general?
Nikhil, a lot of these batters spent a lot of time in the nets taking those throwdowns from the left-handers, from the left armers, the side-arm specialists that the Indian team has. So that's one area. In fact, every batter that I saw, be it Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, or anybody, Shreyas Iyer, all these batters, they had one thing in mind. I think Mitchell Starc was playing in their mind. It's not that they were afraid. It's always better to be prepared for things that you might encounter in reality in days to come. So that was one area. Ishan Kishan, I heard Mr. Gavaskar, Harbhajan and Suresh Raina discuss with you about Ishan Kishan's possibility. That was the only option. I'm sure a lot of people may have thought that, if they promote KL Rahul, because if he bats at number 5, that's way down in the batting order for him in the presence of Shreyas Iyer. But the management, especially Rahul Dravid, spent a lot of time with Ishan Kishan day before yesterday at the practice, and I think that was a clear indication that Shubman Gill was not going to be fit or be playing in this particular game. Now the question is, he is actually racing against time to be fit for the game against Afghanistan, which I think that he possibly may have to miss that game as well, because the temperatures here, I've been here traveling for the last 1 week. I don't know how it is in Delhi. I'm sure the evenings must be cooler, but here in these with such a hot and humid climate, it's going to be very, very difficult for anybody, beat anybody. And for Shubman Gill, who's on antibiotics, under medication, it was always going to be a very difficult task for him. Just that, now Rahul Dravid, under this regime, under Rahul Dravid, they don't reveal anything till the last moment.
All right, Rahul, thank you so much for those updates. That's also part of gamesmanship. You don't want the opposition really to know who's going to be playing or not. And sometimes we've seen it in the past that, if you've declared a player unfit and then on the morning of the game he's fit and then you have to quickly make a change. It happens to teams that announce their 11 sometimes, and then in the morning you realize, one player is fit. But, talking about the heat, Rahul mentioned much better here in Delhi. So if Shubman kind of improves on his health, he could then be tempted to play in that Delhi game. But even if he's not fit, I think you need him for a much bigger game that's going to come after the Delhi encounter. That is going to be India versus Pakistan. So one thing is pretty clear. Everyone's mentioned Ishan Kishan is that man who should be opening. And it's clear cut from Indian team strategy, as we found out in the practice session, that Ishan is going to be opening. The other bit of, in terms of playing 11 thing that you need to see is number 8. Who's going to be at number 8? Because sometimes you've gone with fast bowling all-rounders. Sometimes you've gone with a spin bowling all-rounder. Let me put that question to Harbhajan Singh. Harbhajan, who do you reckon is going to be playing in Chennai? Will it be Ashwin or Shardul at number 8?
Yeah, I think on this wicket, Chennai, where a lot of talks are going on that it's a slow wicket and normally it's help spinner and Australia is your opponent. So Australia, they play fast bowlers better than the spinners. I believe playing 3 spinner would be ideal on this pitch. And if you happen to win the toss, look to bat first, and all these 3 spinners can come in very handy with Ashwin's experience, Kuldeep Yadav's form, and Ravindra Jadeja is being Ravindra Jadeja. Played so many games here for CSK and won so many matches for CSK here in this ground. I think it'll be very crucial, how well Indian spinner will bowl in these conditions. So I think number 8 will be not Shardul Thakur but R. Ashwin, simply because conditions are in favor of spinners, not in fast bowlers.
All right, one off spinner standing up for the other off spinner. He wants Ravichandran Ashwin to be part of that 11. Similar for you as well. Also the fact that we forget, this is also Ashwin's home ground. So he would know every blade of grass in this particular stadium.
Yes, also because of the way he bowled against the Australians and the opportunities that he got. Look, I think he's got confidence. If, for example, he hadn't bowled well against the Australians, you would have said, yeah, maybe let's go for a Shardul Thakur because he can tonk the ball around. But the way he bowled against the Australians, the way he was getting the ball to loop, I do believe that, irrespective of whom you're playing, I think Ashwin should be really up in that 8 spot for just about every match.
We heard from one off spinner. We've got another off spinner, Suresh Raina. Suresh, what do you reckon, Ashwin or Shardul?
It has to be Ashwin because Ashwin played a lot of matches there and he knows the condition really well. He can also bat. Depend if they are going with 2 spinners, the Jadeja Ashwin will play, and Ashwin also brings a lot of batting experience as well as he knows the condition really well.
All right, no coincidence that 2 off spinners have picked Ravichandran Ashwin. Interestingly, Saibai, we had a fast bowler on India today just before we began this program in Zahir Khan. He, of course, stuck with his fast bowler and said, no, we should get in Shardul Thakur. So the only opinion that matters in this particular discussion is that of Sunny Gavaskar, because in that sense, neutral, though he will claim a few wickets that he got in international cricket, but a neutral opinion. And I think this is something that was expected. You were going to go in with the more experienced pro in Ravichandran Ashwin. Also, the pitch in Chennai is expected to be a spin-friendly track. Harbhajan, to you on this one, we'll have the toss shortly, but what's that one weak area you think in the Australian team India should look to target?
I think Australia's weakest point would be, playing against 3 quality spinners. I think not to just survive, but also to look to score runs against those 3 spinners would be very crucial. And I think that's where I do feel that that's their weakest point getting into this game. And of course, this venue particularly will favor the spinners. So we'll have to wait and watch, how Australia will play the spinners. And That's what I consider is their weakest point when they do play spin.
Suresh, what about you? Harbhajan reckons the spin bowling department of Australia is their weak area. That is what India should look to target. What do you reckon?
I think they don't have a good quality spinner. They only have Adam Zampa and Glenn Maxwell. Probably that's the area. I think if Shreyas Iyer is playing, and when Maxi is coming, he should go hard at him. And then you have Virat Kohli, then you have KL Rahul, Hardik Pandya, Jadeja also coming. So hopefully they should target Glenn Maxwell, Adam Zampa. And they have a few all-rounder also. They need to just play smart cricket. They need to play the situation, not the expectation. Make sure you know where you want to attack and which area you want to attack. So make sure you analyze the situation and play according to the situation.
All right, we're running out of time. We need to take a break because the toss is about to happen. But before I let all our experts go, Suresh, one final question to you. Once the toss happens, what do you think? Because you know this ground better than anyone. You've played all your IPL here. What's the right thing to do if you win the toss here?
If you win the toss, I would say look to chase because the lot of dew will be there. And having a solid batting lineup, you can also put runs on the board. Then you have a good bowling lineup also. But I think Rohit will bat first because he wants to put runs on the board. Then he wants to pressurize the Aussie batsman.
All right, that's very interesting from Suresh. He says that the right thing to do here is to chase, but he also knows that Rohit might not do that. He may win the toss and decide to bat first, put up a total, because that's something that's really worked for the Indian team. We'll take a short little break here on Battle of Champions, but don't go anywhere. When you come on the other side, we'll have the playing 11, the toss updates, and more analysis with Sunny Gavaskar. So see you on the other side. Sunny bhai, it's pretty much on expected lines, you'd say, the 11 that India has picked?
Yeah, pretty much on expected lines, at least the lines that I wanted. Because I wanted 3 spinners to be there. Kuldeep has been bowling really well. Ashwin bowled really well against the Australians. And Jadeja, I mean, he's what a package he is, batting, bowling, fielding. So he's an automatic selection. So good, really good selection this by the Indian team. Sad that Shubman Gill is not around, but clearly I think Ishan Kishan will relish the opportunity to show what he can do.
Okay, we also heard from Indian captain Rohit Sharma at the toss, and he said the conditions are there for the bowlers. The pitch seems slightly on the slower side. The ball will turn as the game goes on. He feels that he's got all his bases covered. Unfortunately, as he mentions there, Shubman Gill did not recover in time, and that is why Ishan Kishan is replacing him. He says the conditions are there for the bowlers. It's slightly on the slower side, so we know then this is a typical Chennai pitch because there were also certain amount of analysis where you said it's a cricket World Cup. You usually get a good batting track. That's what we tend to see in big tournaments. But Chennai giving you a typical Chennai wicket in that sense.
And therefore, it'll be interesting to see whether he brings in Ravichandran Ashwin in the power play itself. Yes, I think maybe because there is a new ball available at both ends, you can have maybe 3 overs from the new ball bowlers, and maybe another the other end have a new ball bowler bowling 6-8 overs. But from one end, after 3 or 4 overs, is he going to bring in Jadeja? Is he going to bring Ashwin? Not Kuldeep Yadav, but Ashwin or Jadeja. That'll be interesting to see.
The other bit, Saive, because he mentioned it's on the slower side, do such pitches tend to get better under light, and especially when the dew also comes about for batting?
Yes, I think because what the dew does is it helps the ball to skid on to the bat after pitching. If it is a dry surface, it will stop and turn a little bit. It won't come onto the bat as quickly. But the dew will mean the moment the ball lands, it will not even grip as much and turn as much. It will probably come onto the bat that was quicker.
Okay, we've also got the Australian 11, and let me quickly run you through the Australian team. You've got David Warner and Mitchell Marsh as the openers, no surprises there. Then you have the 2 fulcrums of the team in Steve Smith and Manas Labuschagne. We also expected that. Then you get Glenn Maxwell at number 5 for Australia. Alex Carey is their wicket keeper at number 6. Cameron Green, the all-rounder, batting all-rounder I'll call him, is at number 7. And then you get the captain in Pat Cummins, a handy bat, at number 8. Mitchell Starc, Adam Zampa, Josh Hazlewood then round up that 11 for Australia. But just looking at that batting lineup, Saibhai, Pat Cummins, quite a handy bat, coming in at number 8, tells you the depth that Australia have in their batting.
Yes, and I'm a little bit surprised that Stoinis is not in the team, because Stoinis can be the disruptor.
Just to fill you in on that, Saibhai, they're saying that he's not fit and not available.
Okay, so Well, then I think, there's no surprise in this team at all. Three new ball bowlers, that's their strength. Zampa, because he's occasionally bowled well, and I think he's, bowled well to Kohli. Sometimes, you get one batter out a number of times, you think he's got your number. And, this is just the right kind of time for Kohli to show, look, nobody has his number, and that he'll get the big runs against him. But on anticipated lines, expected lines as well, what the 11 would be, like I said, it's just a question of either Cameron Green or Stoinis for me. Stoinis would have been my pick rather than Green, because Green is not the finished article as far as being an all-rounder is concerned. As a batter, yes. As a bowler, perhaps you and I can also score a few runs against him.
Not me, Sahiba, you for sure. And I'm only, few runs I'm only saying because he's age 70 plus. Much younger would have scored tons
34,
of runs
34,
against
34.
34 against a bowler like Cameron Green. But interestingly, we see two different strategies from these two teams, because I'm now comparing, we have the 11, so I'm now comparing the two 11s. Australia have gone in with one regular spinner in Adam Zampa. Of course, Maxwell, the part-time spinner. India have gone in with 3 spinners. Is it primarily because they're seeing the conditions differently, or do you think, no, they're playing to their strength? So you play in your best bowlers, irrespective of whether they're fast bowlers or spinners?
I think they're playing to their strengths. At the end of the day, you'll probably be looking at the opposition as well, and then maybe look at whether to go in with an extra spinner or go in with an extra seam bowler. And that is what you'll find as the matches go on. Maybe against a team like South Africa, in England, you will find the 3 spinners playing. Maybe against Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, you will have maybe 2 spinners playing and 3 new ball bowlers playing. That can happen against the opposition, against a kind of surface.
That is the kind of surface that is on offer, as I mentioned, because we heard from the Indian captain Rohit Sharma saying that it is a double pace wicket. That is what he feels as of now, and it is a pitch that might just be assisting the spin bowlers, and which is why India has decided to go in with those 3 spinners. Just on the Indian batting lineup I mentioned earlier, could have been, do you look at a Suryakumar Yadav now, or you go in with a Shreyas Iyer? He showed some good form too. You're happy with the decision that India has made? And if you are to bring Surya, maybe later half of the tournament is some place that you'll look at?
Yes, I think, that's a great option to have somebody like a Suryakumar Yadav. But Shreyas Iyer is the guy we've seen score hundreds. And at number 4, you want somebody who's going to score hundreds. If you're looking at somebody at 5 or 6, that is where you might look at maybe a Suryakumar Yadav. But in the top 4, you want guys who will go on to get hundreds. Suryakumar Yadav has got 100 in T20 cricket as well. So I'm not saying he doesn't get hundreds. But the kind of batting that we have seen from Suryakumar Yadav in ODIs so far does not guarantee that he will get you that 100. Therefore, I think Shreyas getting the nod ahead of him is not a surprise as far as I'm concerned.
All right, so Shreyas Iyer is playing. Just running you through that playing 11 once again for India. You could see it on your screens right now. The openers, there's a big change. If you're just joining us live right now, that Shubman Gill has still not recovered. Rohit Sharma points that out. So you've got Ishan Kishan, and it's pretty much certain now, looking at the team sheet, that Ishan Kishan is going to be opening with Rohit Sharma. And then you've got pretty much a settled middle order in Virat Kohli, followed by Shreyas Iyer, followed by KL Rahul, and then Hardik Pandya. And then comes in your all-rounders as well as your bowlers in Ravindra Jadeja, then Ravichandran Ashwin, and then your Kuldeep Yadav, followed by the 2 fast bowlers in Mohammad Siraj and Jasprit Bumrah. I'm just looking at Ravichandran Ashwin making it to the 11th. Sahiba. What an incredible last few days it must be for him, because if you rewind back to maybe a year, 2 years, in fact last 4 years, hardly been part of any white ball cricket for India. You thought that India has moved on in white ball cricket. Of course, he remains a champion in test match cricket. That's another matter, that he did not play the WTC final. And then, not only does he make it to the squad last moment because of a few injury, makes it to that 11. Incredible.
Incredible, and that's what sometimes fate has in store for you. And I think, maybe there are big things to be expected of him now that he's got the opportunity. He is the kind of cricketer who relishes a challenge. He wants a challenge. This is the challenge for him to show that he belongs over here. That whatever had happened earlier on, whatever the reason he was not thought of as being part of the squad, not just 11, part of the squad, that's it. He's the kind of cricketer who will have forgotten what has gone past. For him, this is a challenge. He will be already thinking how to use this opportunity so that he cannot be dropped in this tournament. Maybe after that, another matter. In this tournament, he will play in every game. That's what he'll be looking to do in this game.
Okay, let's also run you through the Australian 11. We have that graphic now ready. We'll have it on our screens right now and just take a look at the balance of this team. You start with the openers. You've got David Warner and Mitchell Marsh as the openers. Then you go down that batting order, and number 3, just like India have Virat Kohli, the mainstay of their batting at number 3. You tend to see that fulcrum for every team at number 3, and no surprise that Australia have got Steve Smith coming in at number 3. Then you look at Marnus Labuschagne. We were just talking about Ravichandran Ashwin making it to that 15 and making it to the 11. Similar story for Labuschagne as well, because he was not considered earlier to be part of that 15-member squad, makes it to that 15-member squad, and then a few injuries, especially to head, and then he makes it to that 11 as well. Then you are getting into the all-rounders. You can see Cameron Green's name here, but I have a feeling that before Cameron Green comes out to bat, at number 5, you will actually have Glenn Maxwell. He's a destructive batter, also chips in with the bowling. So you will have Maxwell bat higher up at 5. Then you might have an Alex Carey, followed by a Cameron Green. So that's your top 7, which looks very, very good. And then comes the captain in Pat Cummins. We've seen him win a lot of games with the bat, especially in the IPL. You've seen him win from hopeless situations, take his team across the finish line. So then the captain comes in at number 8. And then you have the bowlers in Zampa, Mitchell Starc, and Josh Hazlewood. In fact, many would point out that Starc himself can tonk a few and is a handy batter then batting at number 9. So one thing that really stands out in that 11 that you're seeing on your screen right now is the batting depth that they have. Having said that, Saima, you were talking about Stoinis. That's going to be a big miss for them. Travis Head, also another miss, because we saw his form just leading into the World Cup. Now, unfortunately, he's injured, but it was outstanding for them.
And also a left-handed option. That always, is a big problem for all the fielding captains, because suddenly you've got to change the field around. Suddenly your bowlers have to look at the change in line from leg stump to off stump again. Those kind of things. So clearly, I think that's going to be a big miss as well. And of course, the kind of batting that we've seen from him in recent times. Earlier on, he was more a stodgy player looking for 1s and 2s. In the last couple of years, he's become a more attacking player. And he's taken that form into Test cricket as well as one-day cricket.
Last couple of questions, Saima, before we wrap up our program. One, just before this game, these two teams played a series, so they know each other's strengths and weaknesses. In that particular series, India looked like the dominant side. Should we pay heed to that, or you should just forget about it? Because once the World Cup starts, Australia is a completely different kettle of fish.
Yes. I mean, those were matches where it was more like a sparring, session rather than a full-blown, bout. And I think this is going to be the real thing. So be prepared for some fireworks, both, with bat ball and maybe a little bit of, chirping on the field. But I think this is what cricket is all about. And particularly from these two teams, I think in recent times, the rivalry between India and Australia has been much looked forward to. And because it's produced, some great cricket, wonderful cricket, batting, bowling, fielding, we've seen that. And I don't see any exception in this game as well. I'm looking forward to this game because I think we're going to get to see some outstanding cricket.
Okay, finally, we want you to look into the crystal ball and kind of give us a prediction. What do you reckon would be a total that Australia get to, considering it's a spin-friendly track, and then do India chase that down or not? Don't tell us Afghanistan is going to win the game, as you said.
No, I think on the surface, batting first, maybe Australia can be restricted to about 260 or thereabouts. And I think India can then, bat accordingly.
Bat according to the situation, according to the conditions on offer. 260 would be that total that Saimai feels Australia could get to based on the conditions as well as the bowling lineup that India has. And then India, 260-70 is sort of a total that India have championed when it comes to chasing in white ball cricket. That's the kind of batting lineup that they have. But Saimai, thank you so much for joining us, giving us that perspective on this particular game. India versus Australia, as I said at the start of our program, that is the moment where the Cricket World Cup really starts for 1 billion plus Indians. So, get your favorite chips, popcorns, whatever your poison alongside that, and enjoy the next 8 hours or so of the cricket match between India and Australia. We just hope the weather stays good, because there is some prediction of rain later in the day. But also a reminder that we're going to be live throughout on India Today. Mid-innings is the next time that we'll be coming live with Sunny Gavaskar, looking at how Australia batted, and then of course post-match as well once the game is done. For the moment, from Mr. Gavaskar and me, Nikhil Naz, signing off.